2 seasons ago, Hanover area didn't have a win. Now the Hawkeyes are the team to beat.
They could run the ball really well. The quarterback threw the ball great last year against us. I think as a defensive unit, we have to be disciplined. We have to execute our plays and play our positions and not over-scrape, not over-penetrate, and just do what we've been doing for 4 weeks and get better each week.
Northwest has taken the leap up to Double-A, and while they've started slow, the Rangers are heating up.
They play 2 extremely good football teams to start off the season, and unfortunately lost those 2 games, but you know, they picked up the last 2 games, and so it's going to be a big game on a Thursday night for us, and you know, we're hoping that a lot of fans show up and enjoy the game, and we're going to hopefully put on a good show.
It's a Wyoming Valley Conference Class 2A showdown. Hanover area, Northwest, next.
3, 1, 2, 3, run! Keep it up, let's go!
6'5", and he's going to reach for the end zone. He gets in, one guy to score. Switches hands, and see you later.
This is another Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
And the celebration starts on the
go
double
on,
sideline.
double touchdown.
This is Lewis and Miller Memorial Stadium in Chichini, where tonight is a special Thursday night football in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide, and welcome to a special Thursday night edition of Rivalry of the Week here on My Network TV.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine, living life with the news in my mind. All I hear is music, watching your mouth move, damn you look stupid. I feel like everyone's a stranger. Small talk with your narcissistic neighbor. She's real hot, but they said to never date her. I agree, but you did and I hate her. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 Hey man, can I get a favor? Yeah, sure, hot, no, see you later. Sometimes I just wanna be a hater. Gotta wash down the top 40s with a chaser. Your voice starts feeling like a waiter. Scraping my mind to get the cheese grater. Before you go, sir, you have to sign a waiver. That's alright, I'm aware of the danger. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
National anthem for 95 Northwest area band. A huge crowd on hand here in Chichini. as we get set for some Thursday night football here on My Network TV. Some of the fans arriving as early as 5:15 to get their seats. It's a big game when you get these two teams together. Here are the coaches for tonight's game. Ron Hummer for the Hanover area Hawkeyes. In his 9th season, he's got 41 wins in there. 2 years ago, they were 0-10. This year, they're one of the top teams in all of the Wyoming Valley Conference. On the other side, Carl Major, former player at Berwick High School, 7th season, has built a nice program here for Northwest. 43 wins, 2-2 this year. A year ago, they were 8-2. So in our pregame, we looked at some of the big running backs we're going to see tonight. But what about the quarterbacks? Who are they? How are they going to play? Let's go down to Aaron Dugan now on the sideline.
Well, Bob, when you take a look at both of these quarterbacks, Northwest senior Logan Womelsdorf definitely has the edge experience-wise. It's his 3rd year playing quarterback, and he's even had some experience ever since he was a freshman, and he's put up some pretty good numbers, as you can see. 20 touchdowns last year, and then you go over to Hanover area's quarterback. He's a junior. He's Jake Peters, and he really wasn't even supposed to be quarterback last year, stepping in for Yasir Jones as he was injured. So stepping in as just a sophomore last year, but he put up some pretty good numbers. But he did have his best game of the year actually against Northwest last year, went 8 for 18, 222 yards and 3 touchdowns in that 20-14 win. So he's going to look to have another big night tonight, Bob.
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, two very good quarterbacks in the Wyoming Valley Conference, John. Two guys that, even though they play on teams that will run, they can put the ball in the air quite a bit.
Yeah, Peters, physically is a big, strong kid. Womelsdorf at the same time, a lot of experience, threw well, some 7-on-7s over the summer. He could sling the ball when he has to. We'll see if both of them will be important in tonight's football game.
We are underway in Shikshini. Isaiah Taylor may have touched the ball. It's picked up by Yasir Jones at the 5. Big hit put on by Northwest. So Hanover offense will take the field first, averaging just about 28 points per game. So here are the starters. Wistowski will be the lead blocking back for those two talented running backs. There you see Jake Peters at quarterback. The receivers, very good. Chaffin, 5 catches this year, 115 yards. He has 3 touchdowns. Up front, big and strong, all-conference player, Jess Sheridan, 6 foot, 240 pounds, senior.
I'm leaning over to watch the game.
So the ball on the 11. Jones a couple of yards, stop inside by the Northwest defense. Here is the defense from Northwest, giving up 18 points per game. Berger is a beast. 27 tackles this year, 5 of those for sacks. They play a 5-3 defense. The middle linebacker, Schechterly, very good, 32 tackles. He also is a sack. And the defensive backs playing well, Jeremy Walsh, 9 tackles on the year. He does have a fumble recovery. Second down now coming up for Hanover area. Jones, a nice hole off the right side, up past the 30, first down, Hawkeyes.
Well, Hanover area getting a push up front from the offensive line. A couple of Sheridan brothers, Jones Floric and Marcin Cabbage, as Bob had mentioned. Yasir Jones going to wear number 7 tonight, 5'9", 150 pounds. He was hurt last year as a quarterback, but he has some talent as an athlete.
And that's where Jake Peters came in. He did very well last year at quarterback. Taylor crushed in the middle. Tackled there by Tyler Harrison.
Well, one thing about the Northwest area defense, Adam Schechterly, he's almost unblockable. He'll play nose tackle a lot. There you saw him swim through. He didn't make the tackle, but he's able to disrupt. Here you see him on the left-hand side. Quick swim technique there, then tries to get inside. They'll see if they can influence him a little bit tonight. Maybe get him coming upfield while they make some other people play some defense.
Hanover area averages 292 yards per game. They did have 10 starters back on the offensive side as Jones gets close to another first down, up past the 37. Third down coming up.
Well, John Sheridan gets a block over there, number 59. Jess Sheridan is 72. You see over here, great kick-out block there from Hanover area. Sheridan getting into his guys, some downfield blocking there. So Hanover area getting the job done. We got a timeout on the field.
Well, quick timeout called on the field by Northwest. So Carl Major wants to talk to his defense here early on. It's a defense that, John, was tested in the first 2 games for the Rangers as they lost a tough, close one to Lakeland here the opening night, 14-6, and then they got destroyed by a Dunmore team, 35-6. But the last 2 weeks, they played good defense. They got some offense back. They have 14 points in those 2 games.
Yeah, you know what? I think Northwest area, they came from single A to double A, and they kind of said, listen, we want to challenge ourselves. And, you know, they were put to double A this year. It is what it is. So, you know, but 2 traditional programs like Lakeland and Dunmore to start the season, that's no gift when you go from single A to double A. So, you know, you're going to lick your wounds. You're going to get back. They bounce back a little bit. Again, a telling night tonight to see how they play in this what could be a very defensive battle.
And a lot of injuries, too, for the Rangers. They're finally getting some guys healthy. Very small numbers. Jones almost picked off by Schechterly in the backfield. Jones leans forward up to the 39, 4th and 1 coming up.
Well, that's one thing that Northwest area wanted to try to force. Make it a short field as often as you could for Hanover area. And you see here they overload on the guard. Schechterly gets right in, tries to go high. Jones made a miss, but still was not able to get that first down.
Well, let's see now what the Hawkeyes want to do on the early 4th down call. Their offense is in. Taylor will be the I-back. Northwest not in their defense. They thought it was going to be a punt. Peters trying to draw him off sides. They shoot through. I think it's going to be right at the line. Schechterly in there again. Could be measurable, John.
Yeah, I think it's short. I mean, he was stuck immediately, and Earl Harris saying, going the other way. Here you see the defensive stout play as a good hit there by the linebacker. Schechterly got in the backfield, but then a great job up front from Northwest area.
So a big 4th down play for the Rangers, and they'll get the ball inside Hawkeyes territory at the 39-yard line. We have another timeout as timeout Hanover called by the coach.
I think Ron Hummer's pleading his case that he wanted a measurement there, Bob. They're not going to give him one at that point. Earl Harris eyed it up, said he was short, and Hummer still trying to say, listen, why don't you at least give us an opportunity? But
right.
Northwest has a football.
And I think he's got a valid point, too. It was close enough, I think, you could bring the chains out. That gives us a chance now to take a look at the Northwest starters. Well, watch out for that Jack Stankiewicz. Used to be a defensive tackle, filling in for fullback, doing a great job as the lead black for Kowalski. Nick Long, a great outside split end. 14 catches this year, 173 yards. And up front, again, they're big and strong, a little bit injured, but Tyler Harrison is getting better. He's 6'2", 255, and he's a senior.
Yeah, you know, these guys have worked hard in the weight room, and, you know, Carl Major talks about it all the time, whether it's flipping tires or pumping iron. These guys work hard here at Northwest area. A lot of experience on this team.
So Wilmersdorf back, is going to go long on the first play. Tried to hit Berger out there, but Tyler was unable to get around the defender and get open.
Yeah, Brandon Buckner did a great job there on the defensive back position and getting into #1 Berger.
Sean Jones on the defensive side, 16 tackles, 2 for a loss. He does have a sack up front. The linebacker's very active. Watch out for Kyle Holmgren. Not a big kid, but he's got 28 tackles, 2 for a loss, and a sack. And then behind him, a very good defensive back in Chaffin. So a run play, and that is Kowalski. Couple yards on that.
Marcin Cabbage in on the tackle there for Hanover area. Brought Kowalski down. 6'3", 270.
Northwest coming in, averaging 10 points per game on the offensive side. We talk about their struggles. Meanwhile, Hanover's defense has been stout this year. 7.25, including a shutout last week against Riverside.
They come back to Berger.
Instead, they run Kowalski. He didn't get the blocks inside. Well short, 4th down at the 35.
Well, Carl Major talking now to Wilmersdorf, saying, hey, this is what we want. And, you know, on that play where Berger tried to get deep, he couldn't get off the press coverage. And so Carl Major said, listen, you got to get out there and fly. And then when they ran that play, not sure if there was a mix-up, Coach Major talked to Wilmersdorf, and I'm thinking they may try it here and see if he can get it to Berger, if he can fly on this one.
He's got a wide open receiver over the middle. That's Welliver, the tight end. Leaves his feet up past the 17 to the 16. 1st down, Northwest.
Well, he pumped up his quarterback, Marcus Welliver, on the other end of this one from Logan Wilmersdorf. He is a senior with plenty of experience. He said, Logan, I want you to make a play. He does. Wide open tight end. Downfield is Welliver. And now Northwest area knocking on the door.
He was wide open over the middle on the 18-yard gain. So the Rangers now 1st down at the Hanover 18. Wilmersdorf now in the shotgun. He'll actually leave now Wildcat. Kowalski, flag comes in late. They go have a hold coming up on Northwest. Called by the referee tonight, Earl Harris.
Well, they do have a little Wildcat in, and a couple other plays that they've worked this week. One of them here, you see Kowalski looking, and there was a hold in the backfield, as Bob mentioned. A good defensive play over there as Chafin had a little help, one of his teammates.
We got a hold on blue, repeat 1st down.
So that will back them up. So a couple early mistakes now for this Northwest team. Up to the 31. So 1st and 20 now for the Rangers. Wilmersdorf, strong arm. Tried to hit long on a slant, but great defense from Hanover area. From Jones.
Well, that's the way you draw it up. If you're a high school defensive back, not too often you're going to see this play by Yasir Jones. Comes over, left hand. He doesn't even grab him with the right. That was textbook defense from Yasir Jones.
Long and Berger, some speedsters for Northwest on the outside. Jones can match that from his quarterback position. He's very fast. Another pass from Wilmersdorf, going long. In and out of the hands of Long at the 5. Jones on the defense again.
Hawkeyes brought heat, as Bob mentioned, just not going to work over there. Nick Long is one of those guys that doesn't get enough credit for Northwest area, as Wilmersdorf got pummeled over there, and Long almost able to bring that in, but the feet would have been tight. They had a great 1st down and 10 at the 18, Bob. Backed up 3rd and 23 now.
Mistakes have been costing this team, especially in the first 2 games. Over 20 penalties in those 2 games for Northwest. So 3rd down. Blitz. Jones trips Long, no flag. The fans on the Northwest side, a late flag. I think Jones tried to get inside. Feet got tangled, and the flag comes out.
That was a long thought process there. And the referee said, you know what, I think he got him, and then he ended up throwing the flag. So Berger on the left-hand side beat his defender, had him by about 2 yards if he wanted to throw it. So we decided to throw the post, and now the referees are going to talk about it. So some experienced officials here, and some guys, of course, different crews. You get some different guys.
Very experienced crew here tonight. There's Earl Ayers, a referee.
We got defensive pass interference on White. That'll be a 1st down.
Jim Gordon, Carmen Galleria, Robert Jones, Bill Monahan, and Wayne Weslasky, the referees tonight. So a big call there for Hanover area Now the ball is inside the 20, about the 16-yard line. A third down, call it 8 coming. So no automatic first down. And I think they're going to check was it third or fourth down coming up. Third down. Northwest with great field position wants to get some points on the board. They find Kowalski in the flat. Kowalski, touchdown Rangers. Trent Kowalski, 16 yards.
The Rangers getting some offense from Kowalski with Mazanki down. Little swing out of the backfield. Here's Kowalski. Got a little bit of giddy up in his step. And gets a block there and busts through.
Hasn't played football since 8th grade. Wasn't even on the roster preseason. Pick by Walsh is up. It's true, but we have a flag down from the side judge. Let's see now. If it goes against Hanover area, maybe a go for 2. A lot of penalties here early on.
Dead ball. We got encroachment. White.
So they'll still go for 1. Walsh out there. Wilmersdorf will hold. So that one on the second try, no good, but Northwest gets on the board with 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. They're pretty excited to be here. The student body on hand, all dressed up. We'll take a look at that later on. They're happy. Their team's on top early on, 6-0. This is Taylor from his 5 again. Good return up to about the 31, and that's where Hanover will start their second possession of the game.
Well, Hawkeyes again have Peters that can throw the football a little bit. They've tried to run with that offensive line so far. Northwest area's been just a little quicker, and it's been a physical football game up front for them.
Hawkeyes did win last week, John, but just 6-0, a first quarter touchdown in that. And basically the rest of the way, they couldn't get any offense going against the Vikings. Credit to them. But if Hanover wants to win, already down 6-0, they have to find somebody to step up. This is Jones with a nice hole again. Ball on the turf, he got it right back. Good gain.
Offensive line of Hanover area getting the job done there, 5 yards. Try to keep getting 5 yards if you could with between Taylor and Yasir Jones. Guys that can make plays for you. Once in a while, maybe get a little pass in there with Peters. Again, a good-sized quarterback.
Jones hurt last year in the preseason in 2013. He was the quarterback, but on the first scrimmage of the year, broke a bone. Peters was thrust into duty and did very well. Peters lost the ball and then picked it up. Get a couple yards on that. Bunch of Rangers on the tackle. Third down on the way.
Garrett Reese in there to help solidify the defensive push. So here you see Peters, and he gets stacked up over there. Also in on the tackle is Kowalski.
Peters, a big kid, 6 foot, 190 pounds. So another big third down coming up for Hanover area inside their own territory. 6 guys up front. Jones hitting the backfield. Looks like our man Harrison on the tackle. 4th down. Hawkeyes have to punt.
And Northwest playing some stout defense right now. And you and I talked this week. We expected a low-scoring game. You know, right now we have it. It could go any which way. You don't know. But we figured it'd be a hard-hitting defensive affair. We got a little bit of that thus far from the Rangers.
Kowalski back to receive, along with Long. Long has it at the 30, and he's knocked down quickly on the punt from Mike Lewis.
McCann School of Business and Technology.
Wideouts, Berger and Long on the outside, and you can see they're trying to get them the ball any way they can. Timeout on the field. So we'll pick up that point when we get back. Score 6-0 Northwest over Hanover area.
You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
Well, we love having you here on My Network TV for some live high school football tonight, but we also love having you follow along on social media. You can follow us at Fox 56 Sports or me at Aaron Fox 56. And tonight we have a great Twitter giveaway for you watching at home tonight. Just tweet us with the hashtag NEPA Rivalry and you can win this awesome prize back. There's a hat, a t-shirt, coffee mug, lots of stuff. Just tweet us who you think will win the game with hashtag NEPA Rivalry. Guys, back to you.
Well, get to your phones or whatever you're using and tweet Aaron. And as you saw, a big pass play on 3rd down. Wilmersdorf hits Long, 24 yards on that. Up near the 50 now are the Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of time on that play, and a great job by Wilmersdorf finding his top threat, Long.
Well, my point before break, John, was they're passing a lot more than we expected. Of course, with Mazanki out, they're trying to get their best players the ball.
Yeah, they have a lot of talent out there. I mean, you know, we talked about Welliver. He made that play earlier, and they could shake free Berger, that'd help as well. But here's Kowalski again.
Trying to set up a little screen. Well, Northwest taking a book out of Hanover's playbook from a year ago when Hanover and Northwest met and the Hawkeyes won last year. Peters had a huge game, as Aaron talked about. And they passed the ball over the place where Northwest thought they would run. Tonight, thought Northwest might run a little bit. Instead, they're passing the ball.
Yeah, and Ron Hummer and his coaching staff will see what they can do to adjust to that. And again, they got some nice guys up on that defensive line and some good cover guys. We saw what Yasir Jones was able to do earlier on one defensive series or a play. They got Chafin over there who could play a little bit of safety as well.
Wilmersdorf going to tuck it and run. Big kid to take down. First down, Northwest. Inside Hanover territory, up to the 41.
A parting of the Red Sea on that. Everybody left the area, and that opened up Wilmersdorf. You see, they bring 6 guys. Wilmersdorf gets into the secondary. Great hustle from the defensive end, Sean Wistowski.
Well, once again, the Rangers have the ball in Hanover territory. One guy you can't account for is the quarterback. Big run there from Wilmersdorf. And we have timeout, flag down. Might have some movement on the inside.
We got a dead ball. We got a false start. Blue. Repeat first down.
Another penalty against Northwest. So the Rangers came in averaging about 61 yards from the pass. They're going to be above that here in the first half alone. Big crowd on hand in Shikshini. Again, Wilmersdorf going to met behind the line of scrimmage. Sean Wistowski on the tackle and the sack.
While they're covered for Hanover area, they're letting the safety guard the guy in the middle of the trips formation. And one thing you don't see with the Northwest area coaches is you don't see any headsets on them. So again, very, very rare on a high school football game, you're not going to see headsets on coaches. So, you know, nobody upstairs to talk about.
They don't have them. I asked Carl Major about that. He said, we don't have them. So they're doing everything from field level. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Another pass. And another sack by Hanover area. This one all the way back inside Ranger territory at the 47. 3 sacks on this drive alone. Carl Major not happy.
Wilmersdorf's got to see Kowalski in that swing pattern. Wide open. He can make a play over there. And now they call a timeout. There's Kowalski. You see him in the corner of your eye there. Bird's eye view, so to speak. And now he's talking to him, say, hey, you got to find him.
Valley Conference clash between Hanover area and Northwest. And everybody's out here in Chick-Shinny as we are back at Lewis and Miller Stadium. 4th down coming up for the Rangers. They'll be forced to punt. Schechterly, a high hanging one, back to Chafin. And he'll return it up to the 20, and that's where Hanover area will take over. Bye-bye, John Mandola, Aaron Dugan back here on My Network TV, a special Thursday edition once again. John, let's quickly talk about Northwest offense. In that first quarter, 11 passes, just 3 runs. They got a lucky break in the first possession because they got a penalty. That time, the Hawkeyes defense stepped up, held them inside their own territory.
Well, I think scheme-wise they're doing a lot of the right stuff, and they have some guys that can cover. You know, they're staying about 10 yards off the ball with Berger. Yasir Jones was matched up against him. I think for Northwest area, they got to get their running back out in the flat, and then if Womelsdorf has that coverage like he did, he could run the football as well.
Peters back, his pass, going long, just out of the reach. Brudzinski back, Derek Brudzinski, just out of the reach.
They had a guy open. Peters showed his arm strength there.
Of course, Peters did have that big game last year, 222 yards in that breakout game for him. He finished last year with over 1,100 yards passing, 11 interceptions and 10 TDs, so he has the arm. Hanover just looking for anything.
Some continuity, yeah, that's it.
Jones, nice hole. Breaks out, gets walloped up at the 31, but first down Hanover.
Well, Yasir Jones, one of those guys who needs his touches. And here he goes, gets one of them. Good block up front there. Marcin Cabbage again, Sheridan guys. You see he gets into the secondary. Long's trying to bring him down with one. And he gets popped over there pretty good and finally goes down. Nice hit by Jeremy Walsh.
Peters a quick little out to Chafin. Nice gain on that. Close to another first down. They may measure. Chafin having a nice year. 3 touchdowns from the sophomore wideout.
The simple stuff. You know, you're up top as a coach. You see a guy's playing 10 yards off, and you throw a quick 5-yard stop, and you get 10 yards. I mean, you can do that nickel and dime that stuff all day long. You got to keep coming back to it, though, every so often. Seeing how these D-backs are going to do it. Then you get the stop and go. You know, there's different routes you could do, and just the basics.
2 tight ends in now for Hanover. Jones, big hole. Sheds a tackler up near midfield, just over the 50. Close to another first down for Hanover. Rolling are the Hawkeyes.
Well, Yasir Jones is 1 block away from taking this to the house a couple times tonight. And this is one of those carries. Here he is, gets by this guy, and he's got an opportunity over there. He's got Kowalski to beat if that happens. But Yasir Jones just has, you know, a little bit of toughness. Not a real big guy by any means. He's only 5'9", $150. But, you know, tough enough to get through that secondary and get some first yardage as they're now in Northwest territory, Bob.
Well, he's running behind the 2 Sheridan brothers. There's some big boys out there. Again, big hole. Slips at the 45, or he would have had more.
Randy Floric got a nice block over there, 5'9", 190-pound guard, as they try to get a kick-out block right here. You see Floric doing a job, downfield blocking. You see this grass getting a little wet as the night gets a little deeper here.
It's a little high out there. Peters, Brzezinski. Nice gain. Close to the 36, first down. Hanover again. 3 now on this drive.
Oh, one more time. You see a little quick stop out there, 5 yards. You want to try to get those D-backs to come up a little bit more. And, you know, at some point you got to work them. Now, Northwest area making a substitution, bringing their D-back out, and they're bringing Kowalski over on this side.
And they brought Mazanki in. So Austin Mazanki makes an appearance.
Here we go. On the snap.
Well, twice in a row, Hanover picked on Nino Agnello, the junior cornerback. So they bring Kowalski, as John mentioned, out. Mazanki in at linebacker. Long count. Jones trying to cut back, and Mazanki gets the tackle.
Well, Mazanki out there able to just read it. Nobody blocked him. Able to hold on. He's still, you can tell by that play, Bob, he's testing the ankle. Wasn't sure if he should go 100%. Let me just see how I do when I move, a little lateral movement. Here you see Mazanki at the top of your screen kind of looking at this. He sees Yasir Jones, tries to square up, then able to have enough athletic ability to hold on to him and then roll him down.
Mazanki did practice, but Carl Major said he was hobbling just a little bit. Second down coming up. Jones out of the backfield. He gets inside the 30. So 3rd and short now for the Hawkeyes.
6 Rangers around that tackle, so shows you what the Rangers are flying to the football. Again, basic stop route one more time, see if he can stop it. And Yasir Jones got to get his touches, and he gets a couple. They're going to try to whack him a little bit. And he had a little bit of the injury bug last year. I think he had a broken forearm. So, tough kid.
Isaiah Taylor, their other running back. Haven't seen much of him. He did have a shoulder problem, sat out last week's game. Jones inside the 35 to the 34. Another first down for Hanover. Nice drive being put together.
And Ron Hummer looking at his play sheet over there, and they're just doing the basics. Nickel dime stuff, the Hawkeyes. Boy, Yasir Jones had an opportunity there to pop that to the outside. Had a receiver out there with a defensive block, but I'm sure he's disciplined enough to say, hey, let's just go north and south, get a first down. He did, but I'm sure Coach Hummer's going to try to give him a little influence. If you got that, pop that outside.
This will be the 10th play of the drive that started at their own 14. Jones, another limited hole. Welliver pulls him back.
So Schechterly now playing linebacker, not on the nose, and he fires the gap on the backside, misses him. But as Bob mentioned, Welliver grabs him from behind, tries to hold him off. I think that's probably a 2-yard gain. They have 2nd down and 9 on the scoreboard. Probably got 2.
Northwest coming in, giving up 162 on the ground. 61 through the air. 223 total yardage for the defense. So teams can get on them. Quick out to Brzezinski again. Goes in and out of his hands. 3rd down coming up.
I think they converted about 4 of those short passes on this drive, Bob. That one just happens to be a little bit off the mark. So you're hoping for an instant 5. Now you're going to set up with a 3rd down and 8 at the 24-yard line. Just a little outside Kowalski in coverage.
Hanover with 3 wins. They beat Carbondale first game, then Holy Redeemer. Lost a tough one to Old Forge. They had a 13-0 lead in that game in Old Forge. last week, of course, beating Riverside. Brzezinski trying to hit him over the middle. Good defense out there by Jeremy Walsh. 4th down now.
Peters had watched, he's dropping back here. Doesn't get back real quick. Barely sets. Throws a pretty nice football, but that's just good defense. You know, as a receiver, you have to try to shield the best you could, but that D-back got in there and swiped it out.
So another 4th down call. They'll go again, already 0 for 1 tonight, is Hanover. The ball's at the 24. Here comes the rush. Peters with a lot of time. Into the end zone, knocked down by Kowalski. Northwest ball. So with that, we'll take a timeout. Northwest ball when we come back here on My Network TV.
You're watching the Fox 56 Sports presentation of the rivalry of the week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
It's Northwest Junior night, the football team and the cheerleaders here. A lot of the players joining the big Rangers on the field for warm-ups, and of course the varsity cheerleaders with the junior cheerleaders leading the way. So we are back in Shikshini, and after that 1st down run, it's 2nd down coming up. So Hanover goes 13 plays. They do turn the field over. Now the defense has to step up for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that touchdown could go a long way. And, of course, every point, you know, we talk 7-6, 8-6, 8-7. Who knows? You could get one of those kind of football games. But right now, Northwest area playing some stout defense. Now, Austin Mazonki into the ball game. He ran that carry, got a few yards. So see if he warms up, get a little Kowalski-Mazonki action. That could be a dangerous combo.
Well, Mazonki last year, 1,600 yards. 14 touchdown. He averaged over 7.8. This year, just 23 carries for 70 yards. So he'd like to get his touches. He goes off the right side over next to Harrison. Not much there.
Hanover area played some good defense up front. Marcin Cabbage was a big daddy up front, number 75.
I mean, if you look at the guys in the trenches, they're evenly matched between weight, sizes. I mean, whoever wins that might win the game.
Yeah, they're both blue-collar efforts on both sides. I mean, these kids will hit you. And I think both coaches felt that way coming into the season, Bob. They both felt they had guys up front that they felt could get the job done. And, you know, they're showing that tonight.
Northwest actually won the Berwick Challenge, the Strongman Challenge down in Berwick this year. And they beat St. Joseph Prep in that, so that was pretty good for them. And Wilmersdorf hits Welliver. Did he catch it? He did. Just past the 35.
Well, even if he didn't, he made it seem like he did. Well, did a good job here. This ball thrown into the dirt. So Long was out there, and then throwing across the grain. You see that. And his hand ends up at the bottom of it. But, boy, a lot of dust came up from that one.
Another pass going to go long.
Got
To
him.
Berger. In and out of the hands of Tyler Berger. He had him, and it would have been a 6.
Berger, you know, this was just a matter of time. He saw it set up. He was split out way wide, and Berger just got separation like he's capable of. But just over that outside shoulder where you're kind of blinded by a little bit, and he wasn't able to grab that. Again, that comes down to a little bit of lack of football experience for him. He's a dynamic track athlete, without a doubt. State level. Football field is still work in progress. It'll come.
Berkner, the sophomore, on the defense. Flag comes flying in. It's actually underneath all of the players. Kowalski on the bottom. There you see it. So we'll see what the penalty is from our referees tonight. Hanover beat Northwest last year, 20-14.
We got a hold here. Declined. Third down, 55.
So Hanover will decline the penalty and take the play. So third down now coming up for Northwest. Going long again. This time Berger's got it. Beats his man. Touchdown Northwest. 65 yards.
Well, this was a force from Northwest area. Good job, though, they score on it. The D-back was 10 yards off of Berger to start. So it was already an advantage for him, but he just whiffles this and figures, you know what? I'm going to get by him literally just by the D-back's hand. And Berger catches another one, catches this one, a tough one, even though he dropped that other one. So that's what you got to do. You got to come back to them. They know they're going to get that matchup every so often.
Well, Carl Major and his staff rolling the dice. They saw what they liked 2 plays earlier. They go right back to it. Now the Rangers will go for 2, up 12-0. Fake the reverse. Kowalski, head down. He's got it. So Northwest area on their home turf now with a 14-0 lead over Hanover area in this Wyoming Valley Conference game. So we'll take a quick timeout. The fans are happy in Chick-Shinny. We'll be right back.
The rivalry of the week on My Network TV is brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
They're going to have to battle it out. So now let's talk about the Hawkeyes. They're battling it through. They picked up some good yardage last time out. No points to show for it.
Yeah, a little fullback action. Haven't seen much of that. Sean Wistowski, 5'8", 225. He's a junior, not getting many carries.
Peters quick to Chaffin. Nice play, nice catch from the sophomore. He's got some talent. Up inside the 40 to the 39.
Peters is one of those guys that when you watch him throw the ball, you know, it almost looks like he gets ready to throw in the back pedal, and you see him just kind of release it. It looks very natural as a quarterback back there. And, you know, kind of stands in there. He sees what he has to. You know, some of that probably goes back to Ron Hummer being a quarterback at Hanover area back in the day. So, you know, that coaching and talking about the quarterback position a lot, I'm sure is comfortable for Coach Hummer, what he has in Jake Peters.
19 on that. Hawkeyes like to get some kind of points before half. Another fullback dive, a couple yards on that.
Schechterly getting dirty in there.
Haven't seen much of Taylor, Isaiah Taylor. We'll have to check on that at halftime and ask the coach. It's been Yasir Jones in the backfield a lot. Of course, Taylor last week banged up, 2 weeks ago, I should say, against Old Forge. Shoulder problem. Didn't play against Riverside. Don't really see him on the sideline. So we'll have to take a look at that. Shovel pass to Jones. Does it himself up inside the 30. Flag comes out late. Picked up a first down, but let's see what they have. Maybe a face mask over there. We'll see.
Came way back there from Bill Monahan, who was in the secondary, and Berger came upfield, and that set up the shovel pass there for Jones. They saw a hold downfield, Bob.
Make sure, hey, in balance, right?
They were talking to the Northwest captain, so it looks like it will go against Hanover from the...
Block in the back.
That's a tough one on a nice gain for the Hawkeyes. So backs them up 5 and brings up 2nd and 15 again. Four-man rush. Peters to Chaffin. Wants a flag. Kowalski on the defense.
I would have wanted 1-2 on this play. Peters sits in. Good job by his line. Peters throws this one up. You see the contact right there from Kowalski. He got into the receiver and it impeded his ability to try to make the catch.
So it brings up 3rd down now for Hanover area. Their student body trying to get them fired up. They do have timeouts remaining, so they can stop the clock, but a big 3rd down now for Hanover area. Good protection for Peters, going long again and overthrows his intended receiver. Brzezinski again, the senior.
John Sheridan, what a block over there on the right-hand side, the big tackle. 6'2", 280, totally handled the big hitter, Marcus Welliver. But again, they throw downfield, Bob, and just at sink right now for Hanover area. They've thrown deep, they've thrown short. Nothing really in the middle has worked for them, you know, a whole lot. So just having some difficulty, maybe a screen or a draw or something to see if they can swing past to Yasir Jones.
Well, they want a punt. High one by Lewis, fair catch by Long. Hangs on to it, so they're inside the 13. Now, Hanover again does have timeouts remaining, so they can stop Northwest, possibly get it back in good field position.
Well, you wonder if Northwest will try to go to the well once too often. You know, do you try to throw a bomb again to number 1, Berger, or you just try to run the football a little bit and see if something develops here with 2:19 to go? Because if things don't go well and you throw the ball quickly, you know, and you get a bad punt, that'll give Hanover a short field. So you got to be really smart.
Second possession for Northwest, just one run so far, and Kowalski got his jersey pulled out, pulls some people forward for 8.
Well, they're going to say that's a first down, Bob. They're going to move the sticks where he ended up rolling over to that first down. So Northwest area, now you get a first down with 2:09 to go. Now you're thinking, okay, maybe we will take a chance. They got Long over on this side now, going to work this defensive back.
Longest run so far by any running back for Northwest tonight. Mazzocchi in there, tripped up. Under 2 to play here in the first half.
Well, we're going to come in with the play.
So Northwest content to take a 14-0 lead into the half. Hanover just wants to run the clock out, and they're coming up the half. We have features on the Steamtown Marathon, another guest from McCann, and we'll talk about Keystone College women's soccer, our next live event here on My Network TV.
So it's Hanover area here, elect not to call the timeout on the third down and about 3.
Well, if you're Northwest, just run out the clock. You get it to begin the third quarter. They won the toss deferred. So that's why I thought Hanover might want to spend some timeouts, possibly to get the ball back.
Berger back in and rested.
And he's looking the other way. He finds his other receiver, Long, who ran before he had the ball. So the clock will stop now with 45.
But that play does stop the clock, as now Hanover area will have an opportunity with a little special teams action. You see Wilmersdorf throwing over on that right-hand side. Long dropped it. So Yasir Jones will have an opportunity back there with Chafin.
Yeah, I think Taylor might be banged up from that shoulder. We haven't seen number 25 since the first series, John. Schechterle has got a nice Jones from his 30 with the running room. Got pushed and held on, knocked out of bounds about the 49, so still time for the Hawkeyes to make some noise.
35 seconds to go, 50 yards. Got a quarterback who could throw it. Got to get the right matchup.
So the offense back on, Jake Peters, and I think we have a flag.
What numbers? Hold on, what number?
We did have a flag down. It did not see that originally, so looks like it's going to go against Hanover area.
But a tough first half for the Hawkeyes with the flags.
Yeah, it seems when they've had the flags, it's really hurt them. Northwest has had some penalties, but they've been able to overcome them. That's why they have a 2-touchdown lead. The referee's still trying to figure it out on the field. Hanover next week heads to Myers, another very good team, while Northwest will host Nanticoke. But still, football to be played tomorrow night, John, believe it or not. Getting used to these Thursday night games. Some big games tomorrow night all over the area, and Saturday as well. Any game you're looking forward to?
There's going to be a lot of good ones tomorrow night. I think Scranton and Wallapapack, that'll actually be played on Saturday. But I think Old Forge Riverside, Riverside, perfect story. They haven't won a game. Old Forge just won them all. But maybe the Vikings at home will come off with some magic.
Almost picked off out there. That was Jeremy Walsh, and if he pulled it in, he might have had a pick 6.
I think Sealands Grove Berwick tomorrow, Bob. That should be an interesting football game. everybody has written off the Bulldogs, but I wouldn't count them out yet. I think you're going to have a lot of teams with 3 losses this year in AAA, and those points are going to come down. Somebody's going to have 840, somebody will have 850, somebody will have 860. So, we'll see what Berwick's able to do against the Seals tomorrow.
Well, Seals a very fast team. You don't know a Berwick team that has lost 2 in a row. Hanover will run out the clock. Jones with some room still on his feet. Almost twisted out. Inside the 40, Yasir Jones.
Well, you see Yasir Jones. It's not about him. The way he carries himself on the field, he runs the football, he puts it down, he gets it back over, and he's just a tough kid. He gets hit a lot for a 150-pound kid. Alaska Company has enjoyed serving our customers for more than 35 years. We're expanding our business to give the people in Northeast and Central Pennsylvania a greater selection of products. Fireplaces and stoves, the fire pits and tables, gas logs, electric fireplaces, and outdoor furniture. Our new store located in Bernie Avenue, moving in front of the
everyone from Northwest area, including the athletic director, Carl Major, for welcoming us in, and boy, really the 2 coaches for picking up on this Thursday night football. They agreed to it, and they called. They said, yeah, Thursday night football, we love it, but it's turned out real nice crowd on here.
It is, and there's a buzz going around about it. It's catching on. People want to see. I think next year you see double those games.
I think Nanticoke and Lake Lehman will play October 16th as well. So we had it last week with Scranton and Scranton Prep. And hey, the only game in town, people are going to come out and see high school football in this area. Peters fake, set up a little screen, and it was dropped. Dropped by Kyle Mirth, in and out of his hand, and he had some running room. So after that timeout, that does not make a coach happy. He set up the play, and the guy drops it.
Yeah, you see if you can sneak in a screen, maybe pop that for 20, 30 yards, get closer to the end zone. As Yasir Jones, one of your best weapons, comes out. Means you're probably going to throw this up top.
"17 seconds left in the first half. Jones, Peters under pressure. Holds. Almost lost that one.
Berger whipped him down, and that'll do it for the half, Bob.
That will do it, John, for a first half dominated by the Northwest Rangers. They have 2 touchdowns on the board, both through the air, and Carl Major's team looking pretty good in the first half. Let's go down to Aaron right now. Aaron?
Coach, 2 really nice pass plays, but defensively was where it was at for your guys in that first half. A lot of big stops.
First half, yeah, the defense has been playing tough all year long. We got Mazzonki back, playing some linebacker, really stepping us up. We're getting healthy. Played a great first half against a great football team. Now we got 2 more quarters. This is where sometimes we get a little lazy, and I don't want to see it. We get the ball back second half. Hopefully we can keep it going.
Logan seeming more and more comfortable out there as the half went on. You see him throwing the ball out in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, Logan's throwing the ball well, stepping up in pocket, made a nice run, some great throws. We just got to catch the football when the ball's thrown to us, and we're starting to click a little bit. Hopefully we can get really click in the second half.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you guys.
They've clicked, Aaron. Thank you for 2 touchdowns. So Northwest looking to put 3 wins in a row. They have a 14-0 lead over Hanover area. We come back with our halftime guests, and then we'll get you ready for the second half here on My Network TV.
All right. Okay. You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on.
And welcome back to Northwest High School. You're watching the NEPA Rivalry of the Week right here on My Network TV. Northwest and Hanover, the Rangers, up 14-0 at the half. I'm Erin Dugan. So glad you could join us here tonight. And joining me now is a very special guest, Lori Kane, a high school and community specialist from McCann School of Business and Technology, one of the sponsors bringing you tonight's game. Lori, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so tell us a little bit about McCann and some of the programs that you offer.
McCann actually has been around since 1897. We are not a four-year school. Instead, we are a school that offers short-term training. We offer associate degrees that range between 18 to 21 months for completion. We are accredited by ACICS, and as far as our programs are concerned, they vary. Anything from business administration to criminal justice with medical assisting. We have paramedic, surgical technology, early childhood education, massage therapy, our IT courses, and we also have the trades. The trades, we have welding as well as commercial industrial maintenance technician, which is plumbing, heating, electrical, welding, all rolled into one.
Wow, so much to offer. And I know CDL is a brand new program that you offer. Tell us what that is.
CDL is actually located at our Wilkes-Barre campus. It is a short-term program, 4 weeks full-time, and while you're there, you get you're able to get certifications in both hazmat, liquids, as well as double and triple.
So that's at the Wilkes-Barre location, but that's not your only location. You have a ton, right?
Right. We have 7 locations. We are actually located in Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton, Pottsville, Allentown, Carlisle, Dixon City, and Sunbury.
So yeah, you can check out McCann anywhere, and of course a lot of history with McCann dating all the way back to 1897.
1897, yes, it's come a long way. Started back in 1897 as a secretarial school, thus the name School of Business, but as you can see, it's grown so much more since then.
And one of the best things about McCann is the class size. You get such a one-on-one experience.
Oh, right. Our classroom sizes are meant to be small for a reason, because we want to give you the hands-on attention. I know when I was in college, I had a class that had 500 students in it, and if I didn't show up, they didn't care. But we're a little bit different there. We're more of a family, small-size environment, and we care about our students, along with having instructors who have been in the business or currently in the business, sharing their experiences with our students.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your information. And if anybody wants to learn more about McCann, is there a website?
Yes, they can go to mccann.edu.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you, Erin.
Okay, so you're watching live high school football on My Network TV, but we also offer many more sports, including soccer. This Tuesday at 7, we're going to show you Keystone College women's soccer as they take on Gwynedd Mercy, and let's learn a little bit more about the team right now.
Welcome back to Shikshini. 14-0, the halftime score. Northwest over Hanover area. Bob I, John Mandola back in the booth. And John, a half dominated by the Rangers. They got some offense and they played very good defense.
They did. I mean, they were hitting all over the place. Carl Major's theme is, hey, we got 2 quarters to go. We did our job up front. A couple of big plays for them, but they're sticking it out there.
Well, let's see how the Hawkeyes can respond in the second half, and we'll go down to Aaron now with the head coach.
Coach, some good defense from Northwest in that first half. What's it going to take to break through and really get a score?
We got to kill the penalties, and they had 2 big plays on offense. Berger had that touchdown on the left-hand side there, but we got to kill the penalties, and I think if we could do that, we get a score, we get the ball back, I think we'll be back in the game, and the kids are ready to play in the second half, so we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Okay, Bob?
So, John, what does Hanover have to do in the second half?
Well, they need a big play of their own. Yasir Jones has to break one of those plays. You know, he's broken for 15 or 20 yards. He needs one that's going to go the distance for them. And then I think, their quarterback's capable. The Peters kid can throw the football. He's got to make one connection as well. The continuity doesn't seem like it's there offensively. So, maybe if they could sustain a drive and then get that punch in, that'll help boost their confidence a little bit. They're playing hard-nosed football. They're not going to give up.
If we can take a look at the halftime stats, and as we do, you can see, a lot of throwing in this game. We thought it might be running, but if you look at them, Northwest just 27 yards on the ground. But John, Wilmersdorf having a good night so far, 7 of 13, 132, 2 touchdowns through the air.
Well, he's had a couple of drop passes, that's for sure. And Wilmersdorf's done a nice job. Hanover area has been able to run the football. They can throw if they want to. It's just a matter of how that offense is going to look. They go with the 2 tight end look. So, they're made, and that offensive line's done a nice job.
Well, Northwest came out with a 7-play, 39-yard drive, 6-0 then, 6:50 in the first. And then in the second quarter, they went to the air really quick. 5 plays, 86 yards. The big one coming up, we're going to see it right now. Wilmersdorf finds Berger, and this was the second time they actually ran the same play.
Yeah, it was in the same drive. and they end up whiffling this thing over to our buddy Tyler Berger, the track guy, and literally just beats Brandon Bruckner by a hair, the sophomore D-back. But the kind of kid that Berger is, he'll beat you by just that much. He did it on the state level.
Well, on the opposite side, Jones, 11 carries, 66 yards on the ground. Peters, 5 of 13, all 13 passes in the second quarter for just 43 yards. Jones has had some openings. Hanover had a 13-play drive in the first half, came away with no points, and I think that just sums up what happened for them in that first half.
Yeah, I think, not having Isaiah Taylor as another weapon, is a lot of pressure on Yasir Jones in the sense of he's only 5'9", $150, so he's getting a lot of the carries. He's getting beat up a little bit. He's hanging in there the best he could, but I think they'd like to see Taylor contribute a little bit, and they're trying to get the ball around, chafing a little bit. Wostowski had a carry. Brogodinsky's been a target a few times. So it's just a matter of some other guys stepping up.
So Chafin tees it up for Hanover. Northwest will get the ball to begin this second half here in the Wyoming Valley Conference Thursday night special here on My Network TV. Nice long kick to Long at the 12. Speedster spins through and gets knocked down just over the 30-yard line. So that will bring out Wilmersdorf. The leading rusher in that first half was Mazanki, believe it or not. 4 carries, 14 yards. Kowalski didn't do much. But you would think the Rangers now want to eat up some clock, go to a running game, or does Carl come out and say, I'm going to put up a quick touchdown and say, let's get you down by 21?
Yeah, I think he's going to try to still work his offense a little bit. No, he's going to get the tough defense out of his guys, but run the football may get a little bit more of those and see if Mazanki could unleash, but not on that play. How about that defensive stop right up front, Marcin Cavage over there. And one of the things that hearing the referees talk at halftime is they don't want any funny business, and a little bit of John, like normal high school football games, going back and forth. Said, listen, let's get on this early. So you could see a flag early just to make sure they send a message.
Northwest would like to send a message to Hanover if they get another score, but the Hawkeyes defense needs this one to begin the third. Kowalski gets the corner, puts his head down, and is knocked out of bounds just about the 40.
Well, you got to keep containment over here for Hanover area. The outside backer gets blocked in, and so they're able to get the corner. So a good job there from the Rangers on the execution end, which sets up the manageable third down.
Mazanki coming off hobbling a little bit. A little bit of a gimp and a giddy up for Mazanki. He'll fight through it.
The fullback's got a cast on his hand.
Wilmersdorf gets them to jump. Let's see if it will go against Hanover. Went in there with a hard count. Remember, this isn't pro football, so not typically you get the call against the
We got encroachment, white.
quarterback. Earl Harris, our referee.
That's a first down.
Another big penalty for the Hawkeyes.
That's just one of those pet peeves of mine when I was coaching at one time in my life. I think high school football, you don't do it enough, and you're always afraid of your own guys jumping. But if you work it over and over and you're disciplined enough, you can get those penalties three, 4 times a game, which could set up first downs. This one does.
Kowalski, nice hole. Shoots through. 6 on that, inside Hawkeye territory.
Northwest offensive line, Nick Lewandowski, Riley, Campbell, Whitmire, and Harrison not getting much credit. There you see a great block from the fullback, Stan Cavage.
So the ball about the 48. Another hole for Kowalski, breaks through. 7 for Trent Kowalski in the running game, now a force for the Rangers.
Well, it's a good thing for Northwest area to get somebody else running the football. And you see Kowalski coming through, beats the linebacker on the front side, makes Jones miss over there, and then he gets, into it and finally brought down. But, Mazanki's been hobbled a bit. You don't want to overdo it with him. He's still going to get some carries tonight, but as you want to ease him back in.
He gets the ball, push back, but picks up about 4.
Jess Sheridan, 6 foot, 240-pound senior, throws him back.
Well, if Northwest, John, can get the running game going, eat the clock up, it's going to be tough for Hanover to get back into it.
Yeah, here you see Mazanki trying to follow his fullback. And linebacker gets into it, Randy Floor. Mazanki comes out with a bloody knee.
This is Kowalski as Mazanki goes out. Up to about the 32 for a 3rd down short.
Well, they're going to end up chewing about 8 minutes of clock up here to open this drive in quarter number 3. So 4 minutes will go off the clock, and they'll see if they can get this first down. As Bob mentioned, that's something you want to do here for Hanover. You got to stop putting the skates on. Somebody's got to step up and deliver the blow there for the Hawkeyes.
Not a lot of depth from Northwest. Just about 30-some players on the team, John. But they do the most with least.
And here's the part that bites you a little bit. So you get them to jump once, but then you jump on a 3rd and short. So that's the hard part in high school football, to make sure you have that discipline to not jump. With time to fake the run and throw a slant or hit an open guy.
They're giving him room on the outside. They're going to go back to the tight end, and he got him again. This beat him in the first half. It beats Hanover again. 1st and goal, Northwest at the 6. Flag down.
Well, here's the good time. You see, this is basically a little skinny post as the tight end Welliver comes in and heads down. We'll see what this flag is all about.
Oh boy, legal block against Northwest.
What number?
That will drive you nuts on a big play. So Northwest had 1st and goal. Instead, it will be a 1st down and the ball at the 27.
I think if you're Carl Major, you'll take it. You'll take a 1st down when you have that 3rd down situation. And again, you're chewing up a little bit more clock here, and you're driving the football right now. You look like this is exactly what you want in a 3rd quarter.
Kowalski stopped by Holmgren, number 28. And how about that kid, junior, John? Just 5'5", 140. I saw him last week. He was in the backfield every time against Riverside. He's come in with 28 tackles, 2 for a loss. He's not a big kid, but he does a lot with what he has.
Yeah, absolutely. You always love those kind of guys that just want to stick you. Kind of reminds you of that Collins kid who played at Mid-Valley.
Yep.
He would always be around the football and love to hit you. But you get a guy that size that's coming in the backfield and making tackles. You want that aggressiveness.
Definitely undersized at linebacker, but again, he made the stop there. Holmesdorf going back, little fade. Jones on the defense, trying to hit Nick Long.
Well, Yasir Jones really plays some blanket coverage. Seen him a couple times tonight, just kind of zone in. And he just runs with his guy, and he's right by him the whole way. And a perfect pass, might have got in there too long, but it would have had to be really in a tight pocket, kind of like when Wilmersdorf hit Berger early.
I do see Isaiah Taylor on the sidelines for Hanover, number 25, but he's still dressed. So we'll see if he plays when they have the ball. But now a big third down for the Hawkeyes defense. They need to stop. Stop this momentum.
I think he checked at the line of scrimmage here.
Kowalski, big room, and he gets walloped by Chaffin back there. Up to the 15, first down.
Not sure if he was thinking of going to Berger and then changed it, but he ended up giving it to his running back, Kowalski, who has a lot of burst.
Kowalski, of course, 215 coming in. He averaged just about 3.5 per carry. He's been called into duty with the injury week number 1 to Mazanki. He's showing a lot of guts out there. So Northwest keeps the drive moving. Kowalski bounces out inside the 10 to about the 8.
Randy Florick again in on the tackle, the 5'9", 190-pound linebacker. He's a senior, but it is Kowalski able to get through, and then these guys is trying to catch people, and that's what they're doing at this point. But Northwest puts the pedal to the metal.
12th play of the drive, John. It started on their own 31, and you mentioned more important, the time keeps ticking away on the Hawkeyes. Mazanki still on his feet. Touchdown, Northwest. So welcome back, Austin Mazanki. Second touchdown of the season for the senior. Northwest extends their lead now, and they'll try to tack on another one. As Walsh is in, and this one is good. So 12 plays, 69 yards. Northwest extends their lead over Hanover area here, 21-0.
Well, this is old school Mazanki, straight ahead like a battering ram, and then just runs behind his fullback who paved the way, or actually that's his lineman over there, Riley. Alaska Company has enjoyed serving our customers for more than 35 years. We're expanding our business. Give the people of Northeast and Central Pennsylvania a greater selection of products, from fireplaces and stoves to fire pits and tables, gas logs, electric fireplaces, and outdoor furniture. Our new store located on Bernie Avenue, Moosic, in front of the Kmart, offers 11 different highly regarded manufacturers to choose from. Alaska Company.
6:48 off the clock in the third quarter. Northwest, another touchdown, and we are back in Shikshini tonight on a special Thursday night game. Bob I, John Mendola, Aaron Dugan down on the sidelines. And find me some offense, John. Hanover, they got to get back into it quick. They don't have much time.
No, if you can get a little better field position, you'll take that. They'll get that because the kick went out of bounds here.
So they will re-kick it.
I think you see either of these teams, Bob. They can be in any football game this year. They're just, two teams that can play. I know Hanover area not looking that way tonight, but just have that. You can see they have that blue collar effort. They got good line play. They have some weapons offensively. The quarterback and Yasir Jones. The Northwest area right now, I think, is finding themselves. Here we are. It's the halfway point of the season. They get this win. They're going to build on this. and see if they can make that push towards the playoffs.
Walsh again tees it up, this time at the 35. Little squib kick taken by one of the up men. He goes down as Mike Lewis. And as you mentioned, Hanover will have very good field position down 21 at their own 42-yard line.
You're moving it with me.
So what do you do if you're Hanover? You ran the ball very well, but now you're down 3 touchdowns.
Well, it all starts with one drive. You know, get a little consistency, see if they can get, you know, a big run, or, you know, maybe a pass play will break free for them. I think they'll try to do the same stuff. Now we're going to see a different running back in the backfield, Bob. I think this is Taylor.
Taylor fresh has those legs and got wrapped up by Schechterly again. Minimal gain.
So him and Yasir Jones look like they'll complement each other. Get a little Yasir now as Taylor on the right-hand side. Fullback does a nice job of kicking out, but when you get a guy in the backfield, it's hard right off the bat when you don't even have a chance, as Adam Schechterly is one of those guys, whether it's a linebacker or nose guard, he's so quick.
Second down now for Hanover. Team that came in averaging 28 points per game. Jones threw, a bunch of Northwest people there, about 3-yard gain, and our own Aaron Dugan. Boy, you are brave, Aaron. Looks like you're down there with a bunch of characters, I should say.
Yeah, I'm here with the Northwest student section. I have to ask, is there a theme going on for this?
Yes, it's a whiteout right now, but Jesus is here because he needs to be with his people.
Okay, and can you see in that?
Yes, it's kind of hard, but I can make things out.
How many fingers am I holding up? 2. Okay, all right, and how are you doing back there?
I'm fantastic right now.
You guys having a great time?
Go Northwest. Go ahead, boys. Yeah.
All right, send it back to Bob for me. Say back to you, Bob.
Back to you, Bob.
Here we go.
Is that a leopard or something, John? I think it was a leopard.
Not sure.
Got some religion going on in the house tonight, too. So on the field, third down coming up. Peters gets it out, and this time he connects with Brzezinski. First down, Hanover inside Northwest territory at the 45.
Well, here you see Peters gets back in that back pedal, quick drop, kind of like an old school quarterback with that, and then just whiffles the ball over there. He's got that style about him.
8-yard gain, keeps the drive alive. This is Jones with room. Hasn't been able to break one, but he gets good yardage. Up inside the 35, 12 yards for Jones.
Oh, the best they could. You see him over on this left-hand side. He gets through that initial charge from Northwest area, runs through a tackle, then comes over this way. They try to grab him by the shirt, but it takes a few other guys to come over and get him down. You see Schechterly and crew finally taking down Yasir Jones.
Nick Long had him, almost a horse collar. Hanover keeps going. Look, quick one to the up back, and it's the fullback. Wistowski, bumbling. Touchdown, Hanover. 33 yards, Sean Wistowski.
All it takes. Came into this game with 2 carries that went for 8 yards. That one was a big one.
Yeah, Sear Jones tried to do that all night. He took the fullback to rumble in his way down. Hanover's back into it. We have flags down before the kick as John Murphy comes in. He's 6 of 7 on PATs this year. And let's see what Earl Lewis has to say. Offside, so let's see now. Hanover go for 2. Are they a little bit closer?
Fullback comes out.
Here's the touchdown one more time before the 2-point conversion.
Well, Wistowski, a little quick trap over on the right-hand side. Give it to him. Gets through this line. Big, strong, tree trunk legs, and enough to get into the end zone.
2-point conversion now. Taylor dotting the I. So we have some officials time on the field. Someone forgot to get the tee. So as they retrieve it, we will get this possession underway. Kowalski's the last man up. He gets the ball, tripped up inside. Jones on the trip, but a good game.
Well, again, the running here from Northwest area, as they did the first drive in the third quarter that chewed up all that clock Bob mentioned. I think he said it was like 6:48 of that first of this opening drive, and now here they are counting down in the third quarter, and they try to eat up a little bit more, see if they can punch one up by 15.
Going to wind the clock down as much as they can, inside 10 on the play clock. Kowalski carrying players up past the 45, first down, Rangers. So they needed to come out in the second half, John, and run. That's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, they got a guy like Schechterly, you know, who can just concentrate on defense. They keep him over on the sideline. Kowalski's coming off, hobbling just a hair. So these guys are taking the load. That shows a credit to Hanover area. It just shows that they're sticking you.
Zonky tripped up by Chapin. just about midfield. And the clock keeps winding here down in the third quarter. Big crowd here in Shikshini.
Well, here you see up front, Hanover area, playing the 4-4 defense. And they went low on Mazanki. Get him down after a couple-yard gain.
So right at midfield, Northwest has it. And Wilmersdorf not even setting up until they're under 10 on the play clock. Mazanki, big hole. Already has a touchdown. Jones to beat. Jones gets him inside the 5. Austin Mazanki, bum leg and all, goes about 48.
Trusting his ankle a little bit more as the game's gone on, and then you get some straight breakaway speed from Austin Mazanki. See him right at the 50-yard line here, and Austin Mazanki follows his fullback, gets into the secondary. You knew him and Yasir Jones. Jones, he is a special player there from Hanover area, able to make that tackle.
So it could be the last play of the third quarter. The big quarterback just puts his head down, picks up a couple yards to the 2. So Northwest did it with the pass in the first half. In the second half, they've done it with a run. They're knocking on the door one more time. The Rangers want more points on the board as we head to quarter number 4. Welcome back to Miller and Lewis Memorial Field in Shikshini. Special Thursday night football and games of Wyoming Valley Conference. A lot of good locations in Class Don't not only in the conference but also throughout the district. And it's been all Northwest here tonight on their home field. As we bring it back, it's third down and goal for Northwest, trying to add on. Kowalski looking for the edge. Got it. Touchdown, Northwest. Kowalski, second of the night, first on the ground. 7 plays, 75 yards, all on the run.
Kowalski and the Rangers making a statement here. We could run the football, we could pass the football, puts the ball on the outside, and he gets to the edge. And over here he gets a little help. Hey, you go get him.
Walsh in for the extra point. Little low, tipped, but it is good. So Northwest marches the field, and they extend their lead now to 22 points. We'll take a timeout. We come back. Hanover has the ball.
You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
Welcome back. We're in the fourth quarter. Northwest just extended their lead. 28-6. Baba Jamadola and Aaron Dugan controlling the sidelines. Now Walsh will tee this one up there. You see Jones back to receive along with Chafin. And they'll send it over to the sophomore's way. And he is tackled about the 33. Let's go down now to Aaron Dugan.
Well, hey, Bob, we have a winner for our Twitter prize pack giveaway. Thank you so much to Adriana Payton for tweeting us with your game prediction and the hashtag NEPA rivalry. You win a Fox 56 prize pack with a t-shirt, a mug, a mouse pad, lots of good stuff. So it pays to follow us on social media at Fox56 Sports and me at AaronFox56. Always tons of behind-the-scene photos and what's going on down here on the field, guys. Back to you.
And don't forget about that hashtag NEPA robbery. We'll take a couple weeks off of high school football. We'll return October 10th. In between, we do have a women's college soccer game. We'll check that out in a couple minutes. So Hanover has the ball. It's Isaiah Taylor, looks like, stood up quickly. The ball may have come loose.
The Hawkeyes, we'll see if they can still run the football a little bit. You know, they're down 3 touchdowns, but Taylor has some explosion. Boy, these Northwest kids, they want to hit you.
Well, Hanover has been able to run a little bit, but they haven't been able to get the big play that they've needed, except for the last touchdown. Longest run of the night, and that was by the fullback. Peters wrapped up quickly. Look out, Adam Schechterly coming in again, second sack of the season.
Adam Schechterly is like the Tasmanian devil. He just gets going. He's hard to stop. Just so fast up front.
Oh, let's hear again.
Ken saves all his energy on the defensive side of the football.
Yep. Good play there by the inside linebacker. Puts the ball back at the 30, so 3rd and long coming up. Ron Hubbard just trying to figure something out on the sidelines. Peter's little pump fake has a guy in and out of the hands of Bruckner. The sophomore had it, and he was open.
They hear like everything on that side. It's fine. Sorry.
Peters again, just so much natural ability. I mean, it's a difficult pattern and throwing all the way across the field. And watch him. Quick setup, looks it off, and he just throws it. Timing, a perfect dart. The receiver's got to pull that in.
Missed opportunity. Now the punter back on, and that is Lewis. And we have flags down over the place. Too many men on the field for the Rangers. And Mazanki really wants to play. He might have been out there extra. Of course, he's been out a couple weeks, so.
We got a dead ball. Legal substitution, blue.
It will not give him a first down, but now you got Mazanki healthy. Maybe somebody was out there.
I'm gonna try to stop that.
So Hanover will punt. Down 22 now. And their Hanover offense, which scored 51 points in game number 1 and then 42 against Holy Redeemer, held to just 6 so far. Nice high kick. Nick Long, fair catch at the 35. So Tyler Berger has a big touchdown in the first half. The senior hauled in a 65-yarder, but you mentioned, John, that's not his best sport. This is his best sport, track and field. He had a golden day last May.
Yeah, he did, and you know, this kid could do it all. He really is studly, and you see him in the uniform. He's put together pretty good. You see some other athletes out there like, man, he's going to get beat. But Berger's just got something about him. He got another gear. The hurdles, 110, 300, third in states. High jump, he can do it. Long jump, I mean, he just really excels in track and field, and that's probably going to be his bread and butter if he chooses to go to college for it.
Absolutely, and just kind of coming into his own in football. They go for Berger, and a good defensive play from Isaiah Taylor out there. So Berger is a senior, Taylor is a senior as well, and Taylor can do some track and field too. But
yeah, he had to wait for that one, and Taylor came over him. Again, good defense by Yasir Jones and Taylor tonight when they've been called to duty.
now I would think if you're Northwest, you don't want to get too greedy.
Right.
You're up 22, you can run the ball, eat the clock up. try for a big one, they don't get it. And they go back to the run. Kowalski up to the 30.
Kowalski and Mazanki are switching out, kind of like Taylor and Jones for Hanover area. So now Mazanki and Berger comes in as well.
As you expect, Northwest in no hurry. They'll run the clock down. Wilmersdorf almost lost the ball. Flag comes in, and he's sacked. Close to his, right at the line of scrimmage. So I mean, yeah, it's a sack of about a yard, but we do have a flag on the play. He almost lost the ball, John. Had it out there like a loaf of bread.
We got a personal foul. Face mask, white.
So that'll go against the Hawkeyes. The Northwest area will get a little closer to the midfield stripe, as they're about 6 yards away from that.
But another penalty that keeps Northwest alive.
Yeah, and Ron Hummer brought that up to Aaron Dugan as they came out of the locker room. You know, penalties were hurting them, and they got to find a way to stop them. And unfortunately, they did get on the scoreboard, but a couple of them are still going against the Hawkeyes.
Zonke leaping the midfield.
The Sheridan brothers have been all over the place defensively tonight. Those guys are going to be a good uniform clean there on the Hanover side. They're getting those uniforms dirty.
So it's right at midfield for the Rangers as they get closer to their 3rd victory of the year. Still some time left to run off. Kowalski wrapped up.
Might be a first down, going to be close. I think they're going to say it's a hair short, Bob.
Just about a yard. Getting near the 7-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Thursday night football for you. Thanks for sticking around here on My Network TV. Shot down the line. Kowalski stood up and good defense, Hanover area. 54, Randy Florick.
Yeah, Florick in on that tackle. And of course, number 59 for Hanover area, John Sheridan. So it looks like the Rangers are going to go for it on this 4th down near midfield. Do you pin him back and have him go 90, or do you try to see if you can get the first? Rangers thinking, let's see if we can get this done.
I think what they're going to do is call timeout.
Or try to draw him off like they did earlier. Yeah. That would be an instant first down.
I think he's going to call timeout. Carl Major, coach, standing right next to the referee. Going to wind it down, and he calls timeout. So 6:04 remaining in this game in Chickasha. It's been Rangers night here at the field. When we come back, we'll have more on My Network TV.
This week on Fox 56 Saturday, college football Pac-12 action begins at 4. The Stanford Cardinal takes on the unbeaten Washington Huskies. And 7th-ranked Baylor and Iowa State. Baylor's coming off a week of rest after outscoring opponents a $178 to 27. See if the stiffer competition of Iowa State breaks their momentum. See the action unfold Saturday. All begins at 4 o'clock on Fox 56.
So the crowd filed into Miller and Lewis Stadium early, and they've been treated to their Rangers. 4th down pickup for Wilmersdorf all the way to the 30. And that might do it. 1st down, Northwest. 33, he was out of bounds, and he comes up limping. Again, a lot of little injuries for Northwest.
Tweak a hammy, twist a muscle, twist a leg, but you got the 1st down and you didn't go down. Wilmersdorf.
18 on the scramble. Another timeout. So 2 timeouts in a row for Carl Major, and he really wants to make sure his team's on the same page at this point. You don't need any mistakes and let Hanover area back in it. But how important is this game? It is huge. Games all over the place tomorrow night, but in District 2 AA, where it's going to be a meat grinder, every win is important.
Yeah, I mean, the screen doesn't lie. It is a meat grinder. Dunmore sitting pretty good at 3-1. Hanover's going to fall to 3-2 if this score holds up. You know, Myers and Lake Lehman are going to go at it. That'll be telling as to what happens this weekend. We saw Lakeland take care of Nanticoke last weekend. You know, Redeemer and Nanticoke are going to go at it this week. So, you know, it's just constant back and forth stuff here. And I think when it all shakes out, we're going to have some teams with 3 and 4 losses there that are going to get in. But Dunmore right now, again, they got some tough games upcoming.
Well, they do Honesdale a week from tomorrow, and then they have, I believe, Lakeland after that. So they still have some tough games. Don't count out that Western Wayne team. They beat Valley View this week.
There's that flag we were talking about, Bob. You know, it took all the way into the late 4th quarter, but you know, not gonna deal with anything here. There's a penalty. They're gonna throw it.
Personal foul.
Personal foul.
I should say, Paul Pack beat Valley View. Western Wayne beat Mid-Valley on Monday.
Mid-Valley is one of those teams that, boy, they've been playing. They're like kind of like Riverside, but you know, playing teams tough. They came all the way back, just fell short. And you know, Coach Rebar he's trying to get these guys to believe a little bit. And, you know, no wins, but they're going to play teams tough every week.
Oh, they are. And just like the coach when he played. So, you know, Mid-Valley is just in that cycle, as you know, John, that they'll get the players. They always do. But watch out. Class AA, this Northwest team is starting to heat up. That Nanticoke next week, they're going to go for it, but good play for Hanover area. The sack as Jones was in there along with Murph.
Well, Wilmersdorf didn't have a chance. Good job over there. Kyle Murph off the corner and Sean Jones from his defensive end position.
Hanover's just going to keep fighting. Of course, the Hawkeyes 2 years ago didn't have any wins. 0-10, and then last year 4-6. A lot of guys returning, and they knew that. They played these seniors when they were sophomores.
Yeah, and I think here, you know, Carl's got to really look, and I'd be running the football. You know, if some kind of strange thing happens, Wilmersdorf goes down, you know, be better off just trying to get a clock running and pin Hanover area back down 3 scores.
Well, it is 4th down, and I would punt here, and they will send out Schechterly to do the honors. So Hanover will get the ball back. 4:26 left in this game. So, hey, you know what? Carl's got something to practice now to yell at. They didn't play a real solid 4th quarter, but they do lead by 22.
Still talking to his players on the sideline, and you always want to try to coach them up, make miscues, try to correct them.
Schechterly. Taylor's got room. Can he get outside? Has the speed. Oh, he shades a tackler. Isaiah Taylor knocked out of bounds inside the 30 at the 33. Big punt return. They're going to say he went out, John. But boy, somebody had him on the sideline. Or Northwest, I think it was Walsh. Watch this run.
Taylor showing his big play ability over here as he gets down the sidelines, and then it's ole, 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 ole. And then over there, he steps out right on the edge of the line as he makes Berger miss. But that's back at the 24 for the Hawkeyes.
4-10. Peters back. They got some life left. Going for the end zone. Incomplete, but he had Brzezinski out there wide open.
Well, Yasir Jones has to keep running the pattern. He's looking back at his quarterback like, is he going to throw it? Isn't he going to throw it? You run your pattern, and you hope if he ran at full speed, that was a perfect throw for Peters, but Jones wasn't sure.
All the way, Brad. Let's go.
48 yards on the return from Taylor. And a big punt return and second down coming up.
Spread out. Don't you realize you're punching?
That is Brzezinski out there, minimal gain. About 4. Kowalski out there.
That ball thrown a little more inside than you would have liked from Peters. Good D-back could have picked that, but it worked for Hanover area to get a couple of yards, get a little closer on a third down here. But again, look at Peters, just got natural ability to throw the football. Really like him as a quarterback. I think, hey, it's his junior year. You know, really should have a fine rest of 2014. And be one of those guys next year that'll be able to whiffle the football a little bit too.
Pump fake. Going to the end zone, double coverage. Caught! Touchdown, Hanover! Brandon Chafin, 20 yards.
Again, look at the accuracy from Peters. And again, probably not going to get some postseason awards, but Jake Peters, look at that. Pump, and then just watch the placement of this football over 2 defenders. That's as good as it gets for a junior quarterback in Jake Peters. Excellent throw.
I think Hanover's going to be okay at the quarterback position rest of this year and next year. So, and Chafin, only a sophomore. Going for 2. Picked off. Intercepted by Kowalski. It will go dead. So 2 missed opportunities on PATs. But Hanover gets a touchdown after the big punt return, and they're down now 16. And now we'll see the onside kick.
Kowalski's just been a great shot in the arm here for Northwest area, doing it on both sides of the ball, so great play from him.
So they will move on after this game tonight, and here's the Hawkeyes. They'll take on Myers and GAR, both tough teams, out of conference, bound to Panther Valley, but then they come back right with Lake Lehman, Nanico. All teams right now, as we looked at the District 2 standings, that are in the playoff hunt.
Well, Hanover area and Myers, it's a huge rivalry. You know, 2 schools that border each other. The Mohawks are going to have a pep rally next week right before that game. So, you know, depending on how it goes for Myers this weekend against Lake Lehman, that's going to be a heck of a battle as they send off the Mohawks and get ready for the football game the next night.
Well, we are right in the middle of the season, and this is where, you know, you find the contenders, John. And this Class AA, when it comes down to the district standings after week number 10, we'll see what shakes out, but that'll be a heck of a district playoff, too.
Yeah, it will. And a shout out to a friend, Charlie Wysocki. He's being inducted into the University of Maryland Hall of Fame a week tomorrow, so he's going to be at that bonfire next week for the Mohawks. I know he's excited.
Like Charlie, onside kick. Oh, little floater. Let's see if anybody gets it. Kowalski has it. Good job by him to go back and get it. Holds on to the ball, and they're up to the 37-yard line for Northwest. So now all the Rangers have to do is hold on to the ball, and there's some folks from Northwest. School tomorrow, you better get home.
I can hear the words right out of Carl Major's mouth. You know, if they're able to hold on here, Northwest. We don't make it easy, but, you know, we find a way to get it done. So,
trying to pick up their third win in a row after 2 losses early on. And Carl will tell you they were hampered early on by injuries coming out of preseason. Hawkeyes call timeout.
Boy, the parity that we're seeing, that's for sure, for AA and AAA football right now.
Well, there's a lot to look forward to from the Fox 56 Sports Show, and to give us the rundown, here's Aaron.
Yeah, Bob, we have a lot on the show tomorrow night. As this game winds down, we'll look ahead to what's on the show tomorrow. The Fox 56 Sports Show every Friday night at 11. This week we have Misericordia football, of course, their first home win last week against FDU Forum. They're looking to build on that. They take on King's College tomorrow. We'll also talk to a 78-year-old marathon runner, Tony Sermonaro. He's going to run in the Steamtown Marathon that's coming up, and that's going to be his 97th marathon. Pretty crazy. We'll also talk to the Keystone women's soccer team. As I mentioned before, we'll have their game live this Tuesday at 7 on My Network TV. We'll talk with Scranton's Jake McCarthy. He'll be coming up on 1,000 yards on this season alone, and what a career he's had in the last 3 years. And we'll talk to the Abington Heights cheerleaders. It's all tomorrow night on Fox 56. Guys?
Thank you, Aaron, and a lot to see on the sports show. We got you covered on Fox 56. So Kowalski in there. But they just want to run out the clock. Hanover's going to call another timeout. That's their second. They'll try to get the ball back any way they can. But really, Northwest has put it to them, coming out with an aerial attack that they really haven't shown a lot this year, and they've made it work.
Yeah, Northwest area has shown that diversity that, you know, they're going to need to get back into this AA playoff race. It's still an uphill battle for them. You know, they're going to improve here to 3-2. For the last 5 weeks of the season will be, you know, interesting to see how it develops for them.
As I said, we will take a week off, a couple weeks off of high school football. We do have some women's college soccer for you. So join us on My Network TV as Gwinnett Mercy takes on Keystone College in a CSAC game. Then we'll head down Route 81. Big rivalry between two towns that border each other, Mount Carmel, North Schuylkill. Come back some Lackawanna football. While Paul Pack, North Pocono, two teams. They're playing very well right now in AAA. And then we have some volleyball for you. So we're a little bit of everything coming up for you in October. And then, of course, playoff time come November. Week number 5 of high school football gets underway as Northwest will improve, looks like, to 3-2. Hanover will drop to 3-2. And these coaches will be out tomorrow night, I'm sure, scouting both their opponents.
Northwest area up front, got to get those feet moving a little bit more. We got a big defensive front up there from Hanover area.
So they're going to come out and measure, and gives us a chance now to talk over our players of the game. I think Kowalski has 2 touchdowns. Trent Kowalski filling in for Mazanki to start, had one through the air, then ran another one, and then guy with 2 touchdowns through the air, Wummelsdorf. Logan Wummelsdorf, the senior quarterback, hit Berger on a long one, but really controlled that first half with his arm.
Yeah, he's got that type of arm to do the job, and he had a big 4th down carry earlier for them in this quarter that helped them as well.
Yeah, that's right. The only thing missing from Northwest, I think, is depth. They just don't have the numbers. They suffer some injury. You see what happened to them in the first 2 games.
And the thing about Logan Wilmersdorf is, Carl Major puts a lot of pressure on him. But I think Logan steps up, and they have a good relationship. These guys get together, and you'll hear Carl bark at him a little bit. But, Logan understands Coach Major, the fire that he has, and the passion that he has for the game. And, I think he responds to it.
Kowalski met right in the middle for no gain. Some guys on the Hanover defense played well. Marcin Kavich and Sheridan in the middle. And now Hanover takes their final timeout. So they had that third down play. They couldn't stop it, and now it's just a matter of time with 2:06 remaining in this game. 2:02, excuse me.
McCann School of Business and Technology has introduced a new CDL training Class A tractor trailer program at their Wilkes-Barre campus. The campus is easy to find. It's right across from Mohegan Sun Arena. Contact them today at mccann.edu.
Inside the Ranger huddle. So Northwest could be dangerous, John. You don't know if they're going to come out throwing or running, but they do have the weapons, and we knew that coming into the season.
Yeah, no doubt. Got guys in the right positions. You could throw the ball long to Nick Long or to Tyler Berger. You could run the football. Now they got a dual-headed running back system, which could go a long way.
Oh, Wilmersdorf going to go long to Nick Long, and now just overthrew him. Jones out there. So that stops the clock, and that's what you get from Northwest. They want a first down to keep it going, even though they're up 16.
Well, with Hanover had no timeouts left, not sure you necessarily need to do that, but why not give it a shot? I mean, Long is that kind of receiver. Wilmersdorf normally can throw that, just not on the same page on that one as they tested Yasir Jones.
I can see Jones at the next level, playing even Division III as a quarterback. He's got the speed out there as a defensive back. Kowalski shoots through over midfield. So that will bring up fourth down now, but the clock keeps moving.
Be some ice packs tonight and tomorrow for these guys. No more Saturday rest. They'll be in school.
Might be some tardies tomorrow on both sides. Nice crowd on hand here in Shikshini as they welcome us for some Thursday night football action, and it's been a good game. A little more high scoring than we might have thought, but nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's fourth down for the Rangers. They're going to call timeout here because they're at the 50. I think you should kick it away. You don't get it. You create a short field for Hanover. They score. They're within range of onside kick and getting, and a lot of things would have to happen with, two two-point conversions for them. But still one of those situations not sure you want to be in. You controlled most of this football game.
So AA looks very competitive. AAA, we saw Crestwood game number 1. They're starting to pull away from the rest of the field. I mean, scored over 60 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they do have a couple challenging teams still on the schedule.
Oh, they do. There's no doubt.
But they should be the lead dog when it's all done. It's a matter of 2, 3, and 4 and how that's going to line up.
Exactly right.
And, I foresee the second team is going to have 3 losses. So then you go from there. I mean, the way to me, it's looking, whoever the second seed is in District 2, 3 losses, and it could be the same for 3 and 4 or 4 losses possibly.
Yep. Kowalski trying to get the first down, so they elect to go for it. They don't punt.
Nice open field tackle from Kyle Murph.
Clock stops on the change of possession. Now a short field for Hanover. Roll the dice. Under a minute to play. And quickly Class A looks like it's turning into Lackawanna Trail and Old Forge.
Yeah, that's going to be a dogfight. I got to see Lackawanna Trail play last week. Looked like a good football team. Got out to see Coach Schuback and talk Old Forge football, and looking to go 5-0. And I think they're better than a lot of people thought.
Yes.
They're probably surprising themselves a little bit, but hey, they hit the streets a little bit, hit the halls. They got the Canarella kid to come out as a first-year player, and he's showing up for him. And Gutowski's a solid athlete. And then, of course, they're getting some heavy play out of Rinaldi as well.
Well, let's see what Hanover wants to do. A little pump going over the middle. They got a guy. Brzezinski pulls it in at the 35. So about 21 on that catch. Up quickly for Hanover. Oh boy, not over yet. And they'll spike it to stop the clock.
So Peters had some patience on that last play. See him look off the running back to set it up over the middle. And not a perfect throw, but good enough for a first down at Hanover area in a decent position to see if they can knock one in here.
We'll find out if that fourth down call was worth it in about 46 seconds. No timeouts left for the Hawkeyes. Peters scrambles. They got to get up quickly now. Can't stop the clock. Third down. Guys were all the way back in the end zone. Spike it again, so it comes down to a fourth down for Hanover area.
Well, you waste 2 downs. So 2 plays, putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but again, just 27 seconds to go here. That should have been a 2-play call in the huddle for the Hawkeyes. Sear Jones will come out, see if he can be part of a big play here for the Hawkeyes.
So fourth down. Ball at the 35. Peters chased, Peters sacked, and that should do it. Tyler Harrison does the honors. Northwest takes a knee, and this one will be in the books.
Well, Peters looking around, 1, 2, took a lot. Berger in there. He finally gets thrown away over there from Sheridan. But into the backfield is Tyler Harrison.
Brandon Riley also with a big push in there. The 265-pound junior. So in the Here As You Pull It post-game report, we'll interview the Northwest winning coach, and we'll have our players of the game, Logan Womelsdorf and Trent Kowalski. So that will do it. A big win from the Northwest Rangers. They win their 3rd in a row. Hanover back to the drawing board. They lose their 2nd in a row. Both teams now are 3-2. Final score once again, Northwest 28, Hanover area 12.
You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
Welcome back. This game is in the books. Northwest with a huge win over Hanover area, and the winning coach, Carl Major, down with Aaron.
Well, Coach, you start the season with 2 losses. Now you have 3 in a row. I'm sure you're thrilled, but I heard you talking a couple of minutes earlier about some penalties you're not too happy about.
Yeah, we're trying to get the shows tonight. I think a lot of our players are getting back and healthy and playing some better football than we were. But, hey, you know, you can't make mistakes and win big football games. You know, even when we played a great game tonight, we had some penalties that took some drives away where we should have scored again. And to get where we want to go, you can't make them kind of mistakes.
Talk to me about offensively how things were working out there for you. Definitely in the air in the first half, things were working and maybe slow down a little bit.
I think Logan's starting to see the picture a little bit. He missed a wide open touchdown there, but you know, the game speed gets a little fast, crazy, but you got to learn to slow it down, find the open receiver. Plus it helps when you got 2 good running backs back there running the ball, and the line was blocking good tonight. Hey, hats off to Hanover, they're a heck of a football team. They always play us hard, and we were just a little better tonight.
You think you might have the momentum kind of rolling for your team now?
I think we are, and you know, unfortunately, we couldn't get it going at the beginning of the year, but it's who's there at the end of the season. That's what we're working. We're 1 week at a time, game atmosphere, playoff game atmosphere.
All right, well, I'll let you head on in. I think you're a little hoarse.
Oh, a lot of yelling tonight.
A little bit of yelling.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, Bob, I'm going to grab the players of the game. Be right back.
Well, he does have his running backs back. Mazanki's healthy. Kowalski, a little banged up. He'll be healthy. That helps them. They have Wilmersdorf. Northwest has a little bit of everything to throw at you right now.
Yeah, they become a little bit more dangerous with Trent Kowalski, and of course, he's got weapons on the outside. They pretty much have everything they need for health will be the factor for the Northwest area Rangers.
Well, I think Aaron has our players of the game, and now let's go down to her one more time.
Okay, I'm here with one of our players of the game, the quarterback, Logan Wilmersdorf. Logan, some good things working for you through the air in the first half. Tell me what was going right for you.
Oh, our line just came off. They were blowing people off the ball, and we got great receivers that run great patterns, and with the line blocking, it just made it a lot easier for me to sit back there and pick apart the defense.
How good is it for you to get in after starting the season with 2 losses, now 3 in a row?
I mean, this is a huge one for us. I mean, we're just getting better and better every week. We got Trent. He's a great running back. Mazanki coming back helps even more. The line are making great holes, and we're just coming together.
And speaking of Trent, let's bring in Trent now, our other player of the game, Trent Kowalski, stepping in when the team really needed you. Talk about what you saw out there on the ground tonight.
Well, our line did a good job. Slipped me out and got an open pass, wide open. And everyone's working together, and it's great.
Talk to me about the defense from your team tonight. A great defensive effort in the first half, but a couple penalties that coach wasn't too happy about.
I mean, we gotta get smarter. Like we had a lot of mistakes we gotta work on, but overall our defense flies to the ball, and we're a tough D.
All right, well, great game, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to you guys.
Thank you, Aaron. Our hair is you pull it players of the game. Let's quickly talk about Hanover. They're definitely not out of it. They have a lot of weapons themselves on that side, and they'll regroup and they'll be right back into it.
Yeah, I expect the next couple of weeks they'll take on 2 city schools, Myers and GAR, so it'll be telling to see how the Hawkeyes respond to a little adversity here.
Well, both teams now 3-2, but still a lot of football to be played around here for the high school level in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. I want to thank everyone from Northwest area for welcoming us in. We had a great time, showed our crew a fantastic time. I want to thank John Gubble, John Guswitz, and John Cadman, who were part of the crew tonight. So for the entire Fox 56 Sports crew, for Aaron Dugan, John Mendola, this is Bob Ide saying we'll see you Tuesday at Keystone College.